What's going on, guys? JR Sports Cards coming at you with another video today. Yes, it is my favorite video of the week. Sorry for the later upload. It's been crazy. I had to run down and grab 2 hobby boxes. You guys see those optic hobby boxes back there because we're ripping some hobby on the channel tomorrow. I know, JR, you're ripping hobby. Crazy to me too, but I'm pumped for it. This is the big video of the week, my favorite to make. Sadly, my editing program is not working right now. It's so frustrating. I haven't been able to edit anything. So I can't have images this week, but I'll have images next week. Don't you guys worry. So we're going to be going through everything you know for retail, everything you need to know for retail hunting. We have one new release. We're going to go through what's happened to the values, what should be available, blah, blah, and blah. So let's get into it. We always start with football, and we always start with select football. So we have select football blaster boxes. Those are value. Oh, by the way, before I forget, I'm going to be referencing secondary value, secondary market value. Not because I'm pro flipping. Your cards, you can do what you want. I'm team rip. I'm referencing secondary market value because that means if the value's up, the secondary market value is up, the price of the singles are up. If the secondary market value is down, that means the price of singles are down. So that is exactly why I'm going to be referencing secondary market value. But enough of the boring stuff, let's get into it. So select blaster boxes were selling about $60 last week. Now they're valued from $55 to $60. This is expected. Nothing usually stays at just one number, so we gave it a $5 range. Again, the $55 to $60. Some are selling around $50, but most are really $55 to $60 range. We have fat packs. They had no change from last week. They're still selling it for about $25 to $30. You get that 1 silver per fat pack. And mega boxes are up. They were about $90 last week, but I did preface in that video that I thought maybe it was just because I checked them at a weird time. So they are $95 to $100 now. I'd imagine we're going to see select mega boxes kind of just chill at this 100 area. And some dip down below 100 because people are trying to make quick profits, quick money. That's just how it is. And so, the real going rate, from what we've seen is about 100. By the way, if I'm looking down on my left, it's because I'm have all the information there. Chronicles blaster box, those are 30 to 35. Those haven't changed. Those really haven't changed in 3 weeks. So yeah, Chronicles still really overproduced product, but it seemed to have flatlined out because the demand for football is still high. So the price is still a little inflated even with this increased supply that we're seeing. Chronicles mega boxes, as I have one right back there, those are going for about $55 to $60. We haven't really seen any change there since last week. The week before, they were kind of going around the $60, $62 range, so they did drop to kind of $55, $60, but that was to be expected because they're just putting more and more in. My fault, got a notification there. And fat packs, those haven't changed in 4, 5, 6 weeks almost. They're pretty much $8 to $10. I think I had them 2 weeks ago at $9 to $10, but $8, $10, $9, $10, pretty much the same thing. Call it $10 if you want. Score football blaster boxes, those went up. I don't know how in the world Score football blaster boxes went up. That is just beyond me. Those are going for about $30 to $35 right now. We saw them at $25 consistently last week, and now, $30 to $35, it's crazy. I have zero idea why those would go up. If you have any idea, leave it, comment down below because, man, I think a lot of people just don't really like the product, so it shocked me that it was going up. We, of course, have Contenders Draft Picks Football. That has been a red card exclusive on Target.com. Those are going for about $30 a blaster, same exact thing as last week. We are seeing some at $20, so retail price, but again, the red card exclusive are available still as of 3:49 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right, we also have Prism Draft Picks blaster boxes. Those are going for about $35, down $5 from last week. They were about $40 last week. Some were dipping into the 30s. You could see some at $37, $38, and I think I prefaced that as well in last video. And now we saw them at $35. This is to be expected with more supply. Definitely, not surprised it's coming down to $35. Then, of course, we have Chronicles Draft Picks blaster boxes. They're actually out. They're finally out. We've been reporting about this for 2 weeks, and we finally saw them out at Walmart. Those are $45 right now in value. I think we're going to see that definitely come down since the college jersey Chronicles, and it's just a new product. So it's at $45 right now, but I expect it to increase soon, which is very, very exciting. for collectors, and it's a new product. So yeah, 45 there. And I did reference Luminance last week, and I was not sure if it was going to be, retail, or it's just hobby this year, though. So that is good to look out for in terms of, just knowing, hey, Luminance is going to be hobby. It's not retail. Wow, we actually got football done pretty quickly. We never get it done this quickly. Let's hop over to basketball. We only have 2 products out right now. Hopefully they'll release more soon. Select Basketball is coming July 28th, and Optic Basketball is coming at the end of August. So that's some really exciting news. We have NBA Prism Basketball blaster boxes. Those are still coming out at Walmart. It's the 12th week they've been out, which is pretty insane. Those are selling for about $70 to $75 a box, or they value around there. They came down really hard. About 4 weeks ago, they were about $90 to $100, and they just tanked to about $70 to $75. They've been around that range for the last 4 weeks. Hanger box, on the other hand, they were 80 to 90 last week. Now they're selling strictly at 85, so right in the middle of that range. Nothing too surprising there. Again, they came down from about $100. They've been going down for about the last 4 weeks, which has been shocking. And I think that's just because there's a lot of supply right now, because Walmart's actually putting out a lot of Prism. You, of course, have Cello Packs. These actually went down to $35 to $40. The lowest these are actually at $40. So last week we saw the lowest at $35 to $40. Now they're back up to $40. Nothing really selling at $45. It's mostly around the $40 range. Some are like $38, $39, like $42. But it's mostly the $40 range. So no crazy surprise there. And then mega boxes are $150. We had them last week at $130 to $160, a bigger range. Now they've kind of meshed somewhere in the middle. You could argue it's $145 to $150 if you wanted to. So we see Prism Mega Boxes kind of finding their middle from that big range we had last week. Then, of course, Contenders basketball, we're just going to cover blaster boxes, $30 a blaster in value. We saw this happen week 6. Week 7, they bumped up to 35. Now they're back down to 30. There's definitely some still selling at 35. So you could argue that the range is about 30 to 35. But a lot of sales are near 30 with very minimal at 35. But hey, some are still selling at 35, so don't count them out. We have UFC on the horizon next. Then we'll get to soccer. Then we'll get to baseball. So for UFC, blasters are 70 to 80. This is the highest we've seen them since the first week they came out, which tells me they are not putting UFC blaster boxes in store. I know I have not seen them in a long time. I have not gotten reports that people are seeing them in store for a long time. And the fact that the price has gone up to almost 70 to 80. They were 65 to 70 last week, and now they're 70 to 80. That's going up. Most are hitting that 75 to 80 range, but I wanted to include 70 because some are still, lingering at that 70. And again, as supply goes down, because remember, when you open a box, there's one less supply of that box. The price is going to go up as long as demand stays relatively the same. So you're looking at that for UFC Prism. Soccer, we have 2 products. We have Mosaic Soccer blaster boxes. Those are 35 to 40. They were strictly 35 last week. Now you're seeing some creep up into the 40s with, that Italy versus England game. It's gotten a lot of media attention. So soccer in general is just a little bit more popular, and we can see that with prices. We also saw that with Topps Chrome. We had blasters at about 50 in value last week. Now they're, tinkling around 50 to 55. 50 to 55, somewhere around there. All right, so we have baseball. We have a lot of baseball products to get through, but we'll get through them quick. Then I want to give you my top 5 picks of the week, what you should prioritize when you are retail hunting, whether that's online or in person. Bowman baseball blaster boxes have not changed in 8 weeks. 8 weeks. They haven't changed from their $30 to $35 range for Bowman blaster boxes. For secondary market value, mega boxes have not changed in 3 weeks. Those are still $35 to $40 in value. All right, let's move on to Top Series 2. Only week 5 of Top Series 2. We have blasters going for about 25 to 30. They were 25 to 35 last week, so people are kind of realizing that maybe they aren't the craziest. The new product curiosity is kind of going down a bit, so we have them at $25 to $30. Then hanger boxes are $15 to $20. We kind of saw this coming in terms of, we had week 3, they were 10 to 20. Week 4, they were 15. Now they're 15 to 20, so they're kind of, coming back up. So you could argue that $10, that $10 to $14 range a couple weeks ago was just people, cutting for price to get quick sales. Then, of course, giant box. This is interesting. So those retail for $40. A ton of them are selling on eBay for $60. But a big issue is some people are not able to tell the difference between a blaster box and a giant box. So some giant boxes are selling for $30 on bid. Any giant box that's being posted for buy now for about $60 is selling. The ones for $60. The ones on bid are selling for around $30 because people, again, are not recognizing the difference there. So make sure you kind of look out for that. If you're, scouring eBay, although I think they still have giant boxes on Target.com you can buy. When it's posted on buy now, selling for $60, but bids $30 because people aren't realizing that it's a giant box. I think they're bidding for a blaster box. All right, Absolute Baseball blaster boxes. Those are around $30. Same exact thing as last week, like $29.50, $30.02, something like that. Like they're strictly $30. Select blaster boxes took a hit. I called it last week. They were $30 to $35 last week. You only get 12 cards per pack. This is an unlicensed, unlogo product. Not the greatest in terms of value. They were $30 to $35 because people were, kind of like, oh, what can you pull from here? They were kind of interested. Now we're seeing the value at $20 to $25, pretty much retail price, a little additional because you have select in there and they're Chrome-esque cards. So $20 to $25 secondary value. The new release, this is technically unconfirmed, but it's most likely happening this week. Topps Gypsy Queen blaster boxes, fat packs will be releasing soon. 2021, they'll be exciting. Hopefully we'll open up some up on the channel. So I'm extremely pumped for that. We missed Top Stadium Club. That hasn't changed. That's still about 25 to 30 in resale. A lot of boxes are going for 30, but some are going for 25. So I thought I'd throw in the range. All right, I'll give you my top 5. Oh man, I can't speak. I have Prism Basketball Mega Box as my number 1. Prism Basketball Hanger Box as my number 2. Prism Basketball Blaster Box as my number 3. I have Topps Chrome Soccer Blaster Boxes as my number 4 and Select Football Mega Boxes as my number 5. Now, of course, you can put Select Mega Boxes in that 2 slot if you wanted to. So you could have Prism Mega Box, Select Mega Box, then Prism Hanger, Prism Blaster, and Topps Chrome Soccer Blaster. That's totally fine too. Guys, I'm going to leave you there. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Consider joining the membership program. Peace.